Medical Mariner, Inc.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from our Norfolk studio, home of the Atlantic Fleet, Medical Mariner, Inc.
Hello and welcome to Medical Mariner, Inc. I'm your host, Paul Stewart. This is our first episode. This is the introductory episode. In this podcast, we're going to talk about a lot of different things. We're going to talk about my journey through life and things I've learned and picked up along the way. We're going to have an episode where we actually talk about what's the reason I'm doing all of this. The short version is, recently I dislocated my left shoulder, found myself with some time on my hands, was talking to an old friend of mine, and partway through that conversation, he came up with, you should start a podcast. I figured, what the heck? Never tried one before, so we decided to give it a shot. We'll talk a little bit more about that in the next episode. My work experience includes being a lifeguard. That's what I did just out of high school. I've also been a construction laborer, carpenter, a Navy sailor. I've worked in IT, where I've been a programmer, a systems administrator, a business continuance engineer, a sales engineer, and I've done some sales engineering and sales management. I've been a missionary to Africa. I have been to Uganda, Kenya, and also some other interesting places over there. I've gotten to do some things in Africa that most people aren't welcome to do. Currently, I'm a physician assistant. I have practiced in burn and wound care and plastics and hyperbarics. I currently am doing emergency medicine and urgent care, and I also have my own concierge medicine practice. And one of my last things I do professionally is I'm just wrapping up my dive master certification, which I was doing when I dislocated my shoulder. Some of the other things we'll talk about, some of the hobbies and interests I have and I've picked up along the way. We'll probably do a lot of talking about scuba diving. I do technical diving, trimix diving, and cave diving, as well as just good old open water, saltwater diving. I'm also into tattoo collecting. I have a few here and there, and I know a few folks in the business and a few shops. Love to travel. Me and my wife tend to do that as much as we can. I really enjoy cooking because I really enjoy eating, and part of that, I try to look into how to do things in a better, healthy way, because as much as I like to eat and the kind of stuff I like to eat, if I wasn't super careful, I'd be a pretty big guy. I don't currently do it, but I have been a distance runner. I've run several marathons, 5, I think is the last count, including my last one, which was Boston. Done some obstacle races too, and then also have done a super Spartan race. Have been into woodworking, still do that occasionally. Really enjoy gardening when I have the opportunity to. That also gets you the chance to develop your own food supply. And I've acquired a few skills along the way and still like to do some training regarding resilient living. Not super fond of that prepper word everybody throws out there. Just need to know how to live your life so that you can handle most things that come your way. Taken several training courses from several different people. We'll probably talk about those along the way, including things like ACLS up with Maryland shock trauma in Baltimore, some firearms courses I've taken with Pat Goodale down with practical firearms training. Also, some things I've done with survival training and skills. One of the guys I work with that a lot on, his name's Tim McWelch. And, of course, dive training, medical training, going to PA school, getting ready for PA school, those kinds of things. Jesus is going to come up quite a bit in here because I'm a follower of Jesus, and he's kind of central to a lot of the way I try to live, a lot of the things I think, and he's made me do some of the more interesting things, like go from IT sales into medicine, and we'll talk about that too. Along the way, we'll also talk about some of the gear I've used over the years, things I like, things I've actually tried. I'll talk about people I know in various industries and things they've taught me and that I can recommend with them. We'll talk about organizations I've worked with and any recommendations I can make there, and also places that I've been and thought were kind of interesting, and who knows, maybe you'll enjoy them too. Now, if any of this sounds like something you'd want to hear more about, please do subscribe, like, and keep listening. If you have any questions or suggestions for content, please shoot me an email. My email is medicalmarinerinc@gmail.com. Again, the ink is INK, so medicalmarinerinc@gmail.com. I hope to hear from you. That will give me lots of feedback on what's going well, what you'd like to hear more of, and keep listening if you want to hear more from me. Now, the next episode that's going to come out the first week of January 2025 will be called I Blame Jeff and Jesus, and that will give you a lot more information on how this all got started and maybe a little bit more on where we're going from here. Thanks. Hope to hear from you and keep listening. Hey there, this is an add-on video, and I'm doing it with just my phone, no external microphone, so the audio and video quality might be a little bit different, but I'm still trying to make sure to figure out how this podcast works. But anyway, I had these 10-year-old seeds that I'd kept in a mason jar with an oxygen absorber, and I was trying to sprout them, and lo and behold, they did sprout. So now I'm trying to get them to grow. See here, I've got some oregano. It's a little bit hard to tell that it's sprouted, some cilantro that sprouted some, and the basil is really the thing that's doing outstanding. So looks like we're going to have an episode in the future that's going to be on how to sprout seeds and make that work out well, and maybe talk about other gardening stuff as well. Hope you enjoy it. That is it for today's episode of Medical Mariner Inc. If you enjoyed the show and want to hear more, please like, subscribe, and keep listening on Spotify or your favorite platform. If you have questions, comments, or things you want to hear about in the future, please drop me an email at medicalmarinerinc@gmail.com. Medical Mariner Inc. is copyrighted by me, Paul Stewart. You may rebroadcast as long as you broadcast the episode in its entirety. If you wish to use a portion, please email me at the address above.